Hi students, very good morning to all. Welcome back to our science class. In yesterday's class, we have discussed lot about water. Let us recap what we have discussed in yesterday's class. We have discussed how much percentage of water covers on earth's surface and why the earth is known as blue or water planet, and we have discussed two types of water: fresh water, salt or saline water. And we have discussed about chemical formula, properties and uses of water. And we have discussed that three forms of water. Finally, we have discussed the topic, where do we get water from? In today's class, we are going to see about interesting topics about water. So let us enter to the today's class. Students, have you ever noticed this? Spilled water on your floor dries up after some time. Water disappears from wet clothes as they dries up. Water disappears from wet roads or wet surface. In all the three cases, water disappears. Where does this water go? You have any idea about this question? Where does this water go? Actually, in all the three cases, water disappears due to evaporation. So first of all, we see what is evaporation. Evaporation is the process of changing liquid into vapor. Normally, it is changing of liquid into vapor. That means liquid form is convert into vapor form. This is known as evaporation. In water, the liquid form of water changes into water vapor. That means it changes into gaseous form. Liquid changes into gaseous form is known as evaporation. So in all the three cases, water convert into gaseous water vapor. So these gaseous water vapors is easily escape from the place. So we see the disappearance of water on the place. Okay students, so why the disappearance occurs? Due to evaporation. See here, the wet clothes are dry in front of sunlight. In front of sun's heat. We know that suns provide a light energy and heat energy. In this wet clothes, it contain water molecules. These water molecules use the sun's energy, and these are all liquid water convert into gaseous form, and this gaseous form is easily moves away from the wet clothes. So the wet clothes are dry. Have you understand this children? Wet clothes, water present in the wet clothes, it convert into gaseous form. This gaseous form is easily move away from the clothes. And so the disappearance of water from the wet clothes due to evaporation. That means conversion of water into water vapor. By this process, wet clothes are dry. See here, the water disappears from the surface. This is due to the evaporation process. The sun provides the heat energy. That heat energy is used to convert the liquid water into gaseous form. So the water disappears. This process is known as evaporation. Students, we know that salt is obtained from seawater. Why? Because seawater contains salt. That means salt are dissolved in seawater. So in this process, evaporation plays very important role. By this evaporation process, salt is separated from seawater. In this salt obtaining process, seawater is collected in shallow pits. Then in presence of sun, the water molecules start to evaporate. That means the water goes into the gaseous form. This water vapor does not carry the salt. So the salt is left in the pits. Then the salt is collected from the pits. Okay. So during the evaporation process, seawater evaporated and remaining salt are left behind the shallow pits. Then the salt is collected. So evaporation plays a very important role for salt obtaining process. Next, we see about another new topic, that is transpiration. So first, what is transpiration? It is also similar like evaporation. Okay students, so the transpiration process is similar like evaporation. In this transpiration process, excess water is released by the plants in the form of water vapor. See here, the plant absorbs the water from the roots. And this water is released. See here, it released by the plants in the form of water vapor. This process is known as transpiration. So transpiration is the process. In this process, excess water is released by the plants in the form of water vapor into the air. See here, the water is absorbed in the form of liquid. And that finally the water is released into the atmosphere in the form of gaseous. So the excess water is released by the plants in the form of water vapor is known as transpiration. That transpiration occurs only in the plants. Okay students. So the liquid water is converted into gaseous form by the plants. This is known as transpiration process. Okay. So we know that plants absorb the water by its roots. And some of the water is used to prepare the food. and the remaining water is excess. This excess water is released from the plant by transpiration process. That means the excess water released from the plants through the leaves. This is known as transpiration. See the picture. This part represents this part is a root and this is the stem portion of the plant and this is the leaf portion. Okay, students? First, the water enter the roots of the plants. See here, first picture. Here you may see that small water molecules are enter in the roots. Then it moves to the stem. So it enter into the root and it move to the stem. Then it move to the leaves of the plant. So the water taken through the roots and it passed through the stem and it reaches the leaves of the plants. We know that leaves are food factories, isn't it? Food is prepared in leaves. So, some of the water is used for food preparation. And the remaining excess water is released by the transpiration process. In the transpiration process, the leaves plays a vital role. Because if we see the leaves, you may see small holes present in it. That is known as stomata. Okay, the holes present in the leaves is known as stomata. So the water is released through these holes. So the water is absorbed by roots and it passed through the stem and reaches the leaves. In that leaves, some of the water is used for preparing food and remaining excessive water is released through the holes present in leaves. This holes is known as the stomata. See here, this is the leaf. When we observe by lens, you may see small holes on it. That holes is used for, in these holes is used for escaping the water molecule from the plants. Okay. So the stomata is very helpful for releasing water from the plant. Students, water is taken up from the earth's surface by the process of evaporation and transpiration. By this evaporation and transpiration process, water vapors formed. In this water vapor enter into the atmosphere or air. Okay. Now, from the earth's surface to water enter into the air. How does the water vapor come back to the earth's surface? Do you have any ideas, children? How does it again come back to the earth's surface? See that the condensation plays important role in bringing the water back into the earth's surface. So which one plays an important role to bring back the water to the earth's surface? Condensation process. What is condensation? It is the process. In this process, water vapor, that means generally vapor, convert into the liquid form on cooling. This is known as condensation. By this condensation process, water vapor changes back into liquid form. So this condensation process plays a very important role. This is the most important step to form a cloud. Let us discuss how do clouds formed. Okay. Students, when this water from the transpiration and evaporation process, the water convert into the water vapor. Then the water vapor moves up. That means it enter into the air and it moves up. It gets cooler and cooler. At sufficient amount of height, the water becomes so cool. Now the water vapor condenses to form a tiny droplet. These tiny droplets floating in the air. It appears as clouds. In this way only the clouds are formed. Water vapor from the earth's surface, it enter into the air and it moves up. It gets cooler and cooler. At sufficient height, the air becomes so cool. The water vapor condenses. That means the water vapor change into liquid form. So the tiny droplets are formed. The tiny droplets floating in the air, it appears as a clouds. Okay children, this is the way of formation of clouds. See the next picture. It clearly explains how does the clouds formed. First, see the bottom. Here all the water molecule present in the earth's surface. These waters are convert into gas, that means vapor form, and it moves upwards. At certain place, it gets cooler and cooler. So condensation process happens. By the condensation process, the vapor is convert into a tiny droplets. These droplets floats on the air. It appears as a clouds. Then many tiny droplets come together to form a large sized drop. Many tiny particles are come near together and form a large sized drop. So this large sized drop is very heavy. That means so heavy. The weight is increases. It's so heavy. So what happened? It again fall as rain. Okay. So small water droplet come together near together and make a large droplet. This large droplet is so heavy. It again come back to the earth as rain. I hope students now you understand how does rain formed. Have you understand? Yes. Next, we know that the water is taken from the earth's surface by two processes. One is the evaporation and another one is the transpiration. From this process, the water is converted into water vapor. That means it converts into the gaseous form. Then it goes to the atmosphere and it condenses. During this condensation process, the gaseous water vapor again convert into liquid. This liquid fall on as the form of rain. In this way, water reaches the earth's surface again. This is known as water cycle. Surface water first convert into water vapor, then water vapor condense to form a liquid. That means water. That water again fall as rain and reaches the earth's surface. This is known as what? Water cycle. In everyday life, water cycle plays an important role. Okay, so see this picture. The water from the earth's surface is taken by the evaporation with the help of sun's energy. That means with the help of sun's heat, water evaporated and it forms a cloud. These clouds again fall on rain. This process is known as the precipitation. So this is known as water cycle. Okay, children. So in this way, water again go to the atmosphere and it again coming to the earth, and again it go to that atmosphere and it again come to the earth. This cycle is known as what? Water cycle. Okay. Next we have discussed in remaining next classes. Thank you.